So just sitting up nice and tall here, take a few shrug of the shoulders, a roll of the shoulders, both forward and back. Maybe moving the head side to side to create a little bit of space in the neck. Maybe even roll the head side to side. And take a breath in. When you're ready, you'll reach your arms up overhead, stretch your fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then interlace your fingers and flip your palms up towards the sky. You'll press up as much as you can, and then maybe even take your gaze up towards your pinky fingers. And then release your hands, but start to bring your forearms, if you can, or place one hand on top of the other on your low back. If you feel like you can inch your hands to grab opposite forearms behind you, like so, awesome. If not, sometimes it's early and our shoulders don't want to like go that far. You can just place one hand on top of the other, one palm on top of the other on your sacrum. And then encourage the shoulders to open up a little bit more, the collarbones to spread, maybe even look straight ahead. Take a breath in. Can you drive your elbows back just a little bit more? Opening up here. And then reach the arms out like a T. Drop the right hand down, reach the left fingertips up. So you just tip over to the right and let the left side of your body get a little bit longer. And you'll come back up, reach both hands up. Drop the left hand down and you'll tip over to the left. Same idea. And this might right away feel nice on your low back, like on the sides of your low back here. And then you'll come up. Bring your hands to your knees here. Take a breath in. Think like cow pose in the chest. So you're drawing your sternum forward, maybe lifting your chin, lifting your face. And then as you exhale, lean back almost and let your shoulders roll forward. Chin comes to your chest. Might even take a roll of the head side to side. Do that one more time. Inhale to rock forward, chest lifts, shoulders back, face lift. And then exhale to round. Excellent. And then come back to neutral. Come to hands and knees really quick here. Just find tabletop pose. We won't be here too long. Find a few cat cows on your own. So let the belly sink down, let the tailbone rise on your inhale, and then exhales. You find a little bit more movement in the spine by drawing the upper back high, maybe looking down in between your knees, letting the head drop. So a few rounds like that, just moving with your breath if you can. And then if it feels okay, take your knees a little bit wider apart. Your toes can either come towards one another to touch or just keep them as they are as you send your seat back, and you can drop onto your forearms here. Let your head almost rest on the ground if that feels good, or you create a pillow underneath your forehead with your palms. Just finding the space in the low back, maybe a little bit more. Take a breath in and out. One more like that. Fill all the way up and empty. So nice. And then you'll come back up to hands and knees. You'll send your right leg behind you just for a moment. Roll the ankle around, fan out the toes. And then you'll plant that foot down, tuck the toes under, just spin that heel down for a moment. You'll reach the right hand up, take a big breath in, and then reach your right fingertips forward. Here's another way you can create a little bit more space in the side body, but also maybe as a result in the low back. You can even feel free to move the chest maybe closer towards the ground a bit, or spin it up towards the sky. Take one more breath in, and then come back to tabletop. And then you'll switch left leg behind you, take a roll of the ankle, fan out the toes. You'll tuck the toes under, press back through the heel, and then spin that heel down, reach the left arm up, and reach it alongside your ear. Find that length through the side, maybe even in your low back by just shifting the chest like it's coming towards the ground a little bit more, and then open the chest up towards the ceiling. Just to your degree, doesn't have to be huge. Can just create a little bit more space. And then come back, hands and knees. And then come to a seat. You'll swing your legs around in front of you, give them a little shake. Take the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. And it's not about how close your feet are to your seat, doesn't matter. I actually like to make almost like a diamond shape. So my feet are a little bit further away, but you find what works for your pelvis and what feels good in your low back. Take a breath in to sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, think about your sternum reaching beyond your toes. And that might mean that as you start to tilt forward, you don't really go that far, and that's okay. So rather than rounding right away and the stretch being only in the upper back, I want you to think about your pelvis tilting, letting that be the stretch here. And then maybe if you'd like, look down towards your feet. So the space is being created here in the low back. Breathe into it if you can. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more like that. Fill up and empty. And you'll start to lift up. Keep your left knee bent. Extend your right leg long, and you'll bring the sole of that foot to your inner thigh here. And that right leg stays long. Take a breath in to reach your hands up here. Now, this will be a nice stretch for the left side of your low back, right? Start to turn your torso towards your toes, towards your right toes. And then think about folding towards your toes, right? Similar as before, think about sternum reaching beyond your toes. And maybe you just bring your hands to the ground, and that's enough to feel length and space and a stretch in the low back. If you want a little bit more, you can take your left hand outside of your right shin, maybe your right foot, totally up to you. I've got a little bit of stuff in the way, so I'm not going to twist too much or too deeply. But just by grabbing onto that leg wherever you can start to deepen that stretch in the back. Many different ways. So you can take a full breath in and a full exhale. One more, fill all the way up. And empty. Excellent. And then you'll start to come back up to a straight spine. Take a moment to just extend both feet out in front of you. I want you to find what we call Dandasana, staff pose. You'll plant your hands down just beside your seat here. And you can even bend your knees a little bit more. So your heels are grounded, and think about rooting the top of your head or driving the top of your head and rooting your seat down in opposite directions, right? So the top of your head grows a little bit taller. Both of your sit bones ground down, even your hands. Take one more breath in, just in neutral here. And then you'll bring your right foot to your inner left thigh. Same idea. You can reach both hands up. Turn your torso towards your left toes. And then fold towards that foot to your degree. Your hands can come to the ground. That's one option. Or right hand outside the left leg somewhere, connecting. And then think heart, sternum beyond your toes. And then stay here or deepen on your exhale. And for me, I notice that like bottom right quadrant of my low back, creating a little bit of space or stretch there. I often hold a lot of tension there as well. So see if you can breathe into it. If you do, full breath in, out. One more like that, fill up. So nice, empty. And then you'll sit up, one more staff pose or dandasana. Take your hands down behind you. Just plant them. Think about the top of your head rising as you breathe in and out. Make sure you have enough space behind you, and you'll lie down on your back. So you'll bend your knees, plant your feet. Now we did a lot of external hip folding, right? Now I want you to find internal rotation. So knock your knees together and walk your feet just a little bit wider apart to feel the hips, the femurs roll inward towards one another. Your hands can rest on your torso if you want. Take a breath in and out. You might feel your low back expand as you take this variation of rest. See if you can breathe even bigger here on your next inhale. Fill all the way up and empty all the way out. Nice. Keep your feet wide. Separate the knees. My favorite little twist here. Just let both knees fall over to one side. Doesn't have to be your biggest twist at all. Just enough to let the pelvis tilt. And then come back to center. Let both knees fall over to the left, nice and gentle. And you'll come back to center. If you want, if it feels good, hug your knees in towards your chest or up towards your armpits. That can feel really nice for the low back. Maybe it's a rock side to side. And then you can either take your final meditation, since we're here, you can of course lie down, or if you'd like, you can come to a seat. We won't be here too long, but just enough to take a big breath in to fill all the way up wherever you are. And then open up your mouth, find ease on your exhale. And see if you can just take a little mini scan of the body. So whether you're in a seat or you're lying down, maybe identify where you're still holding a little bit of tension in the body. And maybe over the next few rounds of breath, you consciously send just a little bit more love and attention and ease towards that space to encourage it to relax and soften. And then again, take a breath in. Maybe even open up your mouth. you're lying down, you can bend your knees, just roll to the side, and in your own time, make your way to a seat. And if you're already there, maybe bring your hands together in front of your heart. Again, feel the top of your head lift up just a little bit higher. Feel the shoulders soften away from your ears. And just take a moment to honor yourself here for taking the time to create a little bit more space in your body, space in your breath, maybe space in your mind. And maybe right here you choose an intention, a word, or something you'd like to fill that space back up with, whether it's breath, patience, strength, whatever that word might be, bring that to mind and take a full inhale, full exhale. Namaste. Happy Monday.